This is the moment of truth.
Moment of truth.
It could be potentially catastrophic.
So all 3 panels will come back to this 3-to-1. I gotta say, I think I made a mistake here.
You could shake the whole box with one panel, so that's a pretty good sign. Are you excited?
Yes, these things are huge, so I think they're gonna be scary in person. Super excited. Wow, it's crazy how big they are in person.
This is your moment.
This is it. I've been building towards this since the 350 watts on the second bus, 400 on the unicell, and now, bam, 500. And they're bifacial, and they're split cell. Whew! These are gonna be amazing. Off-grid AC, here we go. The day has finally arrived. We're gonna get these big solar panels up on that roof. These are 500 watt bifacial solar panels. We got them way back in June, I think. And we've just been waiting for our chance to put them up. So I've run through a lot of different options for mounting them, but at the end, I wanted to keep it as simple as it could be. The least amount of fabricating, complicated welding we could do, the better. And obviously we want it to be strong. So we've come up with a pretty straightforward idea. We're going to be using just some tubing, and we'll be running it across at 4 points, and then they will be the exact length of the panels on the end. We'll weld in a plate that we can tap and then thread, and then we can bolt in some angle that will clip down on top of the panels. Probably add one on each side just so there's no possible movement. But pretty simple, and it'll be pretty easy to remove if we want to remove. And obviously the tubing gets adhesive to the roof. This should work. It shouldn't be too crazy. We got some tricky things with the capping, so we'll have to notch them out. These are Trina Vertex 500 watt bifacial solar panels. So bifacial basically means it is a glass backing instead of a matte backing. So any light that gets through and gets refracted back, you can get a little bit more wattage. They're ideally made for a setup where they're on a ground mount array, particularly if you're in like a cold or snowy environment where you get a lot of reflection. So I didn't set out to get this kind, but these were the perfect size for our roof, and the price was really good. So if we do get a little bit of bonus of the light bouncing off the very shiny white roof, great, but that's not really the goal. The point is we wanted to maximize the space up there, and these fit almost perfectly. We got 3 of them. 1500 watts. Also, these larger panels have higher efficiency than smaller panels, and they're a little bit newer cells, so I'm really excited to see the yields we get.
500 watts each one?
500 watts, and
wow.
Then if you do get some of the bifacial effect, I think you can get to like 565 is the absolute max. So
these are big.
They're
these
huge.
Are big panels.
They're taller than me, so I'm gonna need help getting them up there.
Historically, in all the builds that we've done, the solar panels, the power system, that is 100% Drew. We very much divide and conquer on our projects. So today, I am just here as Drew's trusty assistant and welder. I'll be the sous chef of the solar panels today.
Yeah, I mean, I got some heavy lifting for you, both in the panels themselves. But yeah, I do need some welding, so.
Heavy lifting is not my forte.
Yeah, you belly aching just carrying these in here. Anyways, let's get right into it, because this is going to be probably a good day project. Hopefully we can get it one day. The nice thing is the actual getting the rack on the roof is easier than it has been in the past, because we don't have to drill a bunch of holes and get really long bolts and hardware. We're just going to adhesive it, but I got to get through the process and see what we want to do.
My dad is here helping us today. We just really needed a third person to get these panels up onto the roof because they are so big. And I thought I would do a little series introduction. If you've heard us talk about Kevin power-ups, a Kevin power-up was just kind of a running joke in the other builds. He is a welder, a fabricator, just an overall skilled guy, and we are always so appreciative when he's able to help on our projects. You will see him in a few projects coming up very soon because the outside of this Unimog is really fabrication heavy. We've been doing a lot of metalworking on this build, and while we've done more welding and more fabrication than ever before, there's always so much to learn. So you're gonna see us cashing in tons of Kevin power-ups over the course of this build. So now you know. You don't have to be confused at what a Kevin power-up is.
wire access. Oh, you can. Some of these lock in a way where they're like super hard to get off. They should honestly all be like that. Like they should lock even better. Line. Positive. Positive. And then we'll put something else on them later. A little grommet and stuff. They're being annoying, as you might imagine. Looking pretty good. Panel number 3 is about to go up. The mounts seem to be going on there pretty well right now. The adhesive should grab really well. This is the last panel, so let's get it up there and see what it looks like when they're all together. Disconnected the solar panels to the wires on the roof, so all 3 panels will come back to this 3-to-1, so they'll all be in parallel, and 2 wires will go into the box. And then pretty soon we're going to have our own mobile power station, so very exciting. No sun right now, but we'll have it soon. We got our panels up on the roof, and then the next day we were talking to the people at Expedition Upfitters where we got the adhesive from, because we were talking about getting another couple tubes of it. And we realized this stuff is not UV stable. So, not an issue for all of our hatches and stuff, which it was recommended to use this because they will be painted, so they'll be protected. But the panels, while not a ton of UV is really getting on them, over time, some UV will get to the seams. And just to be safe, we're going to go up there and we're going to use this lap sealant to completely shield it from any sort of UV light. And that way it shouldn't have any issue over time holding up. Obviously, if we did it again, there is a UV stable version of this, but we did not realize that at the time. So not an issue with anything in the box, not an issue with anything that's being painted over, but the panel brackets are not being painted over. So we're going to seal them with this and we should be good to go. So we got a fun job to get up there and do. Kind of a bummer because we got to take the panels off. And this is why I wanted to make sure the panels could be removable. I didn't know what situation might arise, but I knew one might arise. And here we are. So at least we can take them off and we can deal with this. Obviously want to thank the people at Expedition Upfitters for giving us this information. And they were really helpful in communicating with them about the adhesives. So here we go.
I can tell you what is the worst, and it's not having to reseal your solar rack. It's stepping in puddles with socks.
Nice.
This is just insulting. Not only do we have to do this job to begin with, but now I have wet socks, which is the worst feeling. I'm almost done. I'm almost done.
Ladder's starting to get pretty old. We're gonna get some steps on here. This is gonna be a temporary setup till we build our little porch, but we need to get these steps, hello, hooked on there. So we're gonna basically put a bracket on there that we can hook these stairs onto. So over here we have our bracket. What we're going to do is take this aluminum bar and adhesive it to the box. First we got to drill and tap this bar, so once it's up there we can just thread bolts in. And then at least we have stairs for the time being. The long-term plan is to have kind of like a pull-out porch landing area, and then the stairs will be able to hook on different sides of that depending on where you're parked, because sometimes the stairs come off the side, might not be conducive because you're in like a tight spot. And I think I like them going either forward or backward more. But for the time being, we're just going to get this bar on there and we can at least get in and out of the box without climbing up a ladder, having to move a ladder. It's getting old. So that's what I'm doing right now. And hopefully by tomorrow we will have steps.
This is the moment of truth.
Moment of truth.
We glued a spacer onto the outside of the box, right below the door, and then bolted the bracket for the steps into that spacer with the hopes that if we ever have to remove the bracket, we don't have to cut through the adhesive. There will just be a little metal spacer there instead of the full bracket that sticks out really far into the doorway.
So we got Elmer's glue on there and those tacks you push in, and that should be good to go. Savannah's gonna test it first. So I'll try to catch her if she falls, if it fails.
I'm gonna be the guinea pig, it's true.
And then I'll have to do it anyway, so I should really go first because it doesn't really matter. But you can't catch me.
No, I definitely can't.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll figure it out. Hopefully nobody gets hurt.
Let's try it out, see how it goes.
Woo! So they're on a little bit of an angle. We need another half step, I think.
Okay, so they're more tilted than they should be. First things first.
I think we're about a step short.
Okay. I am terrified.
Can we do it? If I go.
Okay, I'm on one step. I feel so scared.
All right. Seems like it's holding.
Okay, so we either have to go ahead and make the porch,
Yeah.
or we have to make something to space the bottom up to get through the next few months until we can make the porch. Because these will fit the porch perfectly. I mean, that's what I ordered the size for,
Yeah.
but they don't really fit off the box very well.
It's definitely too high.
So we'll either be taking our life in our hands for the next few months,
Now,
or we'll just build the porch.
the porch might be happening.
Yeah.
Whew. We've got a problem. The step has come off. I was standing on the step, like here, unloading some stuff. Fortunately, just standing and not walking, and it just sheared right off. Luckily, I just fell straight down, completely on my feet, didn't like stumble at all, didn't get hurt. So that's good. But obviously there was going to be questions about if this was going to hold up. The aluminum came clean of the adhesive. You can see the adhesive to the box has not been disturbed almost at all. So there is a bonding issue here, and we're going to have to figure out a solution. This is a problem, but really the bigger problem or question is there going to be an issue with the solar?
I mean, we both had some doubts about how well this was going to hold up like this. Just being pulled downward, right?
Yep.
Honestly, I'm not surprised. Like, I didn't want that to happen. I'm not surprised that it came off because it was being torqued like down. Yeah, I mean, we installed it and we didn't know if it was gonna hold up, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, really, it was temporary. I honestly would much rather secure mechanically to the metal, is the way the force is on it. I guess it was even more temporary than I thought. Definitely wasn't the long-term plan. Okay, clearly we have an issue here. The issue is the bond with the aluminum. It didn't hold. It wasn't a good bond.
The big question that this raises is not about this bracket, and it's not about the steps. It's about our solar panels, which are bonded to the roof, FRP, using aluminum brackets. Essentially the same thing that's going on here on a smaller scale. So when this step fell off, we didn't panic about the step. We panicked about the solar panels because those are up there on the roof. Those are big panels, and those are some big questions that we have now about the solar rack.
We've gone back and done some more research on adhesive. I gotta say, I think I made a mistake here because I've watched a lot of stuff about using Sikaflex or some of the 3M products, but then for some reason we got this adhesive recommend for using in the box, but went back and looked at the email and we were particularly talking about in the box, not external. So first we ran into the thing, it's not UV stable. Okay, we could fix that problem by covering it up. But I think I just kind of said, oh cool, we're good to go on that adhesive, and I didn't really go and do further research or go back to looking at some of those other products like the Sikaflex or the 3M. And it seems like this really needs to be primed in some way, or we need to use a different adhesive with a different primer.
It's been about 3 weeks, maybe a little more, almost a month that we've had those solar panels up on the roof. We have driven the Mog. Just little fun things like to get a coffee or go around the block, maybe to go to a local park, just trying to enjoy the vehicle that we have. So we've driven it, and the solar panels did not fly off the roof. They're actually still bonded really well to the roof. We went up there and we pulled on them. Drew pulled on them as hard as he could. So far, they're not coming off the roof, and they've been bonded to that roof longer than these steps have. But you should not feel insecure about the bond of your solar panels to the roof of your camper. So right now, solar panels are bonded. They're bonded securely so far. We don't currently have an issue, but we think there could be the potential for a big issue. So we need to fix this before it becomes a problem. In my mind, I think there's a few things that we can do.
I mean, there's a few options, right? We can completely remove everything, which would involve cutting back the adhesive that is currently bonded very well. But like you saw with this, it's bonded until it's not bonded, you know, and it might never be an issue. So I don't think I like that option. I think I like leaving that. So the next option is we can add additional support up there, whether that be anchor points and tethering them with cables in case something crazy does happen. At least they catch the next thing before you have a panel flying off down the road. Or we can also put in angle or something using one of these more proven adhesives for this application and then bolt that to the existing structure. At that point, we have 2 points of contact with 2 different products.
We see people using a 3M adhesive, a Sitka adhesive, and also the Cora Pop, which is the UV stable version of the Cora Pur that we used for the panels.
We're kind of past the point of securing them mechanically. We'd have to like completely decimate our ceiling at this point.
And in case you guys don't know, because we've gotten some comments on past videos, our box does not have internal framing. There's no studs in the walls to mount to, so that wasn't even an option for securing these solar panels.
A ton of people have secured solar panels and other things to these roofs with different adhesives. So at this point, what do we want to do? Do we want to rip it all down, start again? We don't even know that that will fail. It's pretty hard to calculate the force. I saw one guy kind of figuring it out, but it's still kind of like hard to calculate wind force. And is that the same force as this? Not really. It's pulling up mostly. I would like to figure out how to calculate the force, the shear, parallel shear force of me standing on this.
Because this, the shearing force, is completely different than it being pulled upward on the roof.
Yeah.
I think. So we're just kind of doing our best, and we wanted to talk about this as soon as this came off of the box, we knew we wanted to talk about how we mounted our solar panels because we are on YouTube and we're talking about it to people that could potentially also do it. So if you're thinking about doing this, I hope that you have watched this far in the video and you can do things off the bat better than we did, because now we're going back and trying to fix what we did. Whether it fails or not, the stakes are really high.
Maybe there's never going to be a problem, but I think we're both in the camp of we want to try to put some extra security in here. I don't think we want to rip everything down because it might not ever fail. So yeah, I think we're going to add some other way of securing it in addition. So if our initial adhesive fails, we at least have another safety net to catch it. So at least in that moment, we won't have a huge problem on our hands, just kind of a problem. I'm just happy he didn't get hurt, really.
Me too. Let's go up on the roof and kind of look at the panels and see what we can do.
It's going to be a pain in the butt either way. I'm not looking forward to this.
Yeah. Welcome to builds.
Real excited to be back on the ladder too, let me tell you.
Yeah, we can, just pull this ladder right over. Get this guy out of here. We gotta pull the ladder back. Here it is.
You know what?
There she is.
Just drag this ladder around with us everywhere. It's great.
We'll just mount that on the back of the box.
I mean, you got 4 feet of bond too on each strip. I don't know, man. Not scientific at all, but like they seem like they're on there really well. I would say definitely really do your research on adhesive options, because doubting them doesn't feel good. I don't know, even after looking and looking, I still don't feel like there's any real definitive proven thing out there. So do your research and make your own decision, I guess, is what we got. I don't know, feels pretty good.
But how will it feel in a year?
How will it feel in a year or 5 or 10?
I mean, if one of these panels comes off the roof and it's not tethered in some way, it could be potentially catastrophic. That can't happen. It can't happen.
You got any movement? Are you trying?
Yeah. Hey.
That's scientific. That definitely equals speed and wind force.
I am wind force.